So today we're starting off with apple butter. This is a family staple now. I've got jars that are washed. They're being warmed up right now because this is hot. I'm going to get some water going on the stove so that that will be hot, because you want either hot, hot, hot or cold, cold, cold. You don't want to mix any of them or you're going to start breaking jars. Let me get going on that. Okay, just kidding. We are going to pressure can them because I think my water bath canner is outside. So I need 7 pounds of pressure for 13 minutes. Now, at the same time, we're going to be making some bread. So, back to the apple butter. This is still very hot. My jars are very hot. And water on the stove is now very hot. Perfect. So, I'm going to fold this over because that got dirty. We got our rings, we got our lids, and we got our jars. I'm going to show them to you here in this moment. Okay, so we got our clean jar. Add a funnel. Add our funnel. For apple butter, you're going to want to chop, core, and you don't want to skin your apples. Put them in your crock pot. Let them cook until they look pretty well brown. And then you're going to get your little incinerator and you're going to go to town on it. Don't stop until your arm is tired. And we're going to fill up our jars. I like to leave about a 1/2 inch headspace. Now, I don't remember if that's right or wrong, but that's about what I do. Now, I would like to note that I would be considered a rebel canner because while I still do things that are safe and good for my family, I also do things a little bit outside the book, so don't come at me. So here's our jar. About a 1/2 inch headspace. You're gonna want, with apple butter, it's really easy to not have bubbles in there, so it's okay. I don't debubble it. And then you're gonna do clean lid, clean ring, about finger tight, and into the pressure canner. But again, super hot jars, super hot apple butter, and super hot pressure canner. Okay, so now that we got all those drying, and we're gonna get started. Got finger tight, you're not cranking on them. I guess I do about 50-50. I store with rings on versus not rings, and both have worked out just fine for me. But that doesn't mean that you have to do it. That one is just a hair too full, so I'm gonna have to wipe that down. And yes, you are supposed to wipe your rims. I just forget a lot. Finger tight. I forgot to mention that I added about, I would say 2 tablespoons of cinnamon and about 1.5 tablespoons of ginger. Another thing you are likely going to find is once your apples cook down, you have quite a bit of room in your crock pot. It's not gonna look full like mine, because what I did was I took my Instapot and cooked down a bunch more apples and then put it in here and blended it, chopped it. I don't know. This is gonna be a mess of a video. That's okay. Gotta start somewhere, right? There we go. Yeah. It looks as if I'm not going to have enough jars. And I've got room for 2 more pints, so I'm gonna go look for those and get them heated up. So we got 2 more half pint jars. So here's all of our half pints. We have got them all in here, ready to go. 10 half pints. We're going to put the lid on, heat it up, let it do its thing. So water bath, you're going to heat up your water to boiling. And then for half pints and pints, you would just boil it for 5 minutes. Let's see, so 7 pounds of pressure for 13 minutes. We're gonna continue to jar, put them together, and then put them in the canner. Okay, so we're back. It is almost time to go deal with the bread, but for right now, we gotta deal with these jars because they have been water bathed. We had a little bit of a malfunction with the seal, which is why you should always check them. Keep a really good eye on your pressure canner, and there we go. So these have been boiled for 5 minutes, and that does not start from when I started the water or added the water or anything, or I did have to add water to it because pressure canning requires less water. So I added some hot water to the pot and then just took off the lid. So I'm just using it as a regular pot. And you will probably start to hear my jar sealing. Also, when dealing with hot jars, make sure none of your windows are open. I did have the one over my sink open just to deal with the gas stove. But I have closed it up before I took these jars out. Another really important note is, yes, even though some of these jars did seal, I'm not going to touch them for 24 to 48 hours. If they did not seal properly the first time, and I tapped down on the lid to see if it had sealed, that could create a false seal and that could ruin your food in that jar. Yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoy that apple butter making video. I think it took me roughly 2 days between heating up the crock pot and the apples, and then cooling it down for overnight, and then heating it back up in the morning, and then the whole canning process, of course. I think that left us with roughly 13 to 15 jars of apple butter, which may only last us into the summer because, like I said, it's a family staple now. If you want to see any more baking, canning, or cooking videos, let me know, leave a comment. I also have chores to do, so if you want to see like a day in the life of Mrs. Yukon or something, let me know. Yeah, share this with your friends.